Now it's time to play around with the text here and the buttons. So let's open our model, and now let's check the info part. Okay, here we must simply start with the info, hover and make sure that you are on the right place. So it's model info, that's it. I'm gonna be giving an absolute position. From top I want it to be 0, and left I want also 0, and I'm actually gonna give a padding which is gonna be top and bottom 0, left and right 1 rem, and the color of the text that's inside is color white. Let's save. Make sure that the parent element has a relative position. Model info, the parent is simply a model, so let's come here and say position is relative, otherwise you won't have the desired results. Always remember. Let's see how it looks like right now. Windows 3, and it's there. That's perfect. Let's simply continue. The Windows 3 is just valid for me because this is the third window that I have here opened. So let's start with our model inside of the info. We have the name. In our name, we're going to increase the font size for some 3.8 rem, and the font weight to be 700. Let's go to the price, where we're gonna have a font size of some 21 pixels, 2.1 rem, and the font weight we're gonna make it more light, so some 400. Save, go and check. Very good. Going back. After this, we can work with the footer where we have the buttons, because all is done right there. So let's go to our footer, absolute position also, and from the bottom we're gonna shift it some 10%, left some 3%. Let's see how it looks like. And here they are. We are actually gonna shift a little bit to the right side, so let's put some 4%, and I believe this is gonna be okay. Let's start with our model. We have this button model, so let's see simply button model. Inside of it we have different states: the link, visited, active, focus, and more states. Let's simply make sure that the link state is gonna be the same state as the visited one. So when it's linked and when it's visited, we don't wanna format them differently. What we have is no text decoration first, because we saw that that was underlined, and though we don't want that underlined, let's put the font size to be the default font size that we defined. Let's try to give a more letter spacing. This is gonna be just the same 4.4 pixel, because this is not gonna be making much difference since the size is so small. I'm gonna actually refresh by myself right here, and yes, the font size is okay, the color is not, and we're gonna fix that. Next, let's make sure that this button of customization has its own style. We're gonna be creating a new class here, which is gonna be button model, and I'm actually gonna say custom. Nice. Here in custom, I'm gonna be having simply different styles, and we're gonna see which ones are when we look at our final prototype. Hover and yes, button model custom, that's right. You can see that this custom has a different background. When you hover, you have it changing to the green one, and the color of the text changes to white, and when you remove your mouse it's green. We have to make that happen, so starting with the color, which is gonna be, it's a dark green, so color dark green. Next we have that background color, which is color white. Let's save and see what we have. Okay, nice. Let's simply start adding some padding to it. The padding right here is gonna be 16 pixels top and bottom, so 1.5 RAM and 2.72 RAM on the left and right. And let's actually give some margin to the right of some 5 pixels. You can even put here directly because this value is so small, 5 pixels, and see how it looks like, much better. And this icon should have a margin because it's so next to the car right there. So what we can do is right here, say all that's icon, we're gonna give margin right some 8 pixels and save. Let me refresh by myself, sometimes this doesn't happen. Yes, here we have. Let's talk when we hover on that, what happens. When we hover, what we're going to have is the color going to color white, and the background color is gonna be color dark green. Color dark green. Okay, and save. Let's see how it goes right now. F5. Okay, this is what we really want to have, but just giving some transition because this needs to sound more smoother. We're gonna have a transition right here to all in 0.2 seconds. Save and see how it looks like. Let's see what's the problem. Okay, 0.2 of seconds, and now this should solve. Okay, now we can see. Yes. Next, let's attack the other button that we have. This is not for the model customization, but it's for this one, where you're gonna select see all the models. So we can simply come here after the custom, and this one we're gonna make it white, button model white. So let's save and see. And white, we're gonna have the same padding right here. So I'm actually gonna copy. This is a basic duplication, so don't worry about it. The color is gonna be color white. We're gonna have a background which is gonna be transparent because you can see what's behind it, and we're gonna add some border of 1 pixel solid, and the color is gonna be white of that border. As we hover, what do we have? We have a dark green color, and the border is gonna change the color. So let's put border color to color dark green. Save. Let's save again and see. Okay, this is how it should be. Customize your car and see all the models. Nice. Next, we are going to just be having this transform that makes the button translate in vertically as you click. Do you see what's happening right here? Okay, let me show you. It actually has some box shadow when you simply click on the button. Did you see what shadow happened right there? Here we have this shadow. So let's add, after we click, this shadow right here, which is the dark green. To make this, we simply have to target all the buttons in our model and make that happen on the active and focus state. We can simply use transform, translate in the vertical direction, so -1 pixels, because we want to translate it up, and have a box shadow, box shadow right here, 0.5 rem, 1 rem, RGBA. Whenever you're making your design, you have to try out which amount of shadow stays much better. Then you're going to code using that result. But in my case, I'm simply giving you the values because I have tried it out and I've seen what best looks for this design. So if you wanna try different values, feel free to do so. And when we click, here we have that shadow is present. Well, you can see that other cars don't have that formatting. That's because the classes are not present on the buttons. Let's make sure that we go to each of our model. Let's remove this, come up here, Control V to substitute that, make the same on the next model. Here also Control V. If we save, we must see all of them with that beautiful looking design. Very good. Now I'm not gonna be wasting time simply doing boring stuff, which is going to be duplicating the models right here in my document. I'm simply gonna find the final version and copy those parts from the code. So let me find the index file, which is this one. I'm gonna open here. Okay, and I want to write in the models part. Okay, here I have this. I have the model, which is this row. I'm gonna expand it. The first one we have written, the second one, and the third one we also wrote. So all these models are gonna be inside of the same row. How the row doesn't have the space to accommodate all of them, they are going to be placed on the next parts of the same row. So it's going to be distributed vertically. This one is for the Tacoma, so you simply have to copy the model, otherwise you can write. You know where to change. This one is gonna be for the Jeep Cherokee, simply Control V, and this last one is gonna be for a nice looking car, which is Lexus GX 460. Saving, and let's see how it looks like. Here we have all is here. It was easy to build this section, and now we can move to the next one. You know where to leave your questions and don't hesitate to do so.